everyone, and welcome to the SLO City
Together
Podcast. Sing the song, Jacob. You know it. Yeah.
Jacob Holcomb is in the house.
He's with us.
In the house.
Oh, yeah.
Veronica.
That's what I thought of as well when you said in the house. That's a throwback.
It is a throwback.
Parking lot days.
Do you want to hear that story,
Go
Jacob?
ahead.
Sure.
We'll introduce you in a second.
Okay.
Back in the parking lot
First things
days,
first.
118 straight weeks of meeting outside in a parking lot.
Come on.
We had a trailer. Not a trailer, a container.
Shipping container.
That held all of our gear that we would open and pull out. And one day, a friendly person in the city named Veronica.
With a B?
With a B.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of this. If I can, I'll put it up.
Veronica just wrote on everything, in our container and the stage backdrop pieces. Veronica is in the house. DAHOUZE, or
I thought it was just a picture of like a drawing of a house. Maybe she wrote
in the house.
Yeah.
That's good.
She has a brand. She had a brand, and she was marketing
I would buy
it.
that shirt.
Yeah?
Veronica in the house.
What if we sold SLO City Veronica in the house shirts?
Only when we moved into a church home.
Yeah.
Then we'll say, you are in Veronica's the house.
Have we met Veronica?
Yeah. No, we haven't. But
No.
Not that we know of.
we hope to.
Yeah.
That's
Would
One
be
day
nice.
in the future.
That's really good.
So she's met us.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, it's great. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. wherever
And
you
good
are.
night.
Jacob Holcomb is here.
Woo!
Jacob, who are you?
Jacob, give us a little introduction of yourself.
Yeah. My name is Jacob,
Oh.
as was previously stated.
Full name.
I
Go.
am the Jacob Reed Holcomb.
Reed. Why Reed?
That's my pop's middle name.
Oh.
cool.
Earl Reed Ferris.
Oh.
Wow.
He's the man.
Nice.
I hope to be like
Hold
him,
on.
besides
Ferris
his hair.
is his last name Ferris?
Ferris, yeah. My
Like
mother's
your
maiden
grandpa,
name.
right?
Okay. You said your pops, and I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, I call him Pop,
Okay.
but he's my grandfather.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about him. Yeah, my name is Jacob Reed Holcomb.
Mhm,
I'm
welcome.
the next gen pastor here.
He's looking at the
SLO
camera.
City.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Oh, I'm used to
We are
filming.
in a conversation.
I know. I forgot that
You
this
are
is
not
an audio
talking
thing.
to
I thought this was an audio thing. I'm used to being on camera.
It's good to
It is an
acknowledge the
audio
camera at
thing.
times.
It's an audio thing. Okay.
It's okay. Just look at the camera the whole time.
I'll
Do
look at
not
you.
look at us.
Yeah.
I'll look at you guys.
So,
I am the,
Jacob.
well, you guys know who I am, so I was telling the people.
So
That's a
Jacob.
good
I was
point.
telling the viewers at
That's
home.
a good point.
Hi, Luke.
Hi, Brent.
Anyway, back on track. I am the next gen pastor here at SLO City. I've been here for about a month
Yeah,
and a
welcome.
half. I
Cool.
oversee the youth and college ministries here.
Excellent.
I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, and I went to college in Riverside at California Baptist University,
Nice.
and now I live in San Luis Obispo,
You
Yeah.
do.
and I work here. Yeah.
Very cool.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank
Welcome,
you.
Jacob.
Thank you. I'm
I
glad
was
to be
looking
here.
at my list of questions for you,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
but I'm going to let Luke begin.
Well, I was going to ask, give us a little bit more. I mean, so far we know your pops.
We know Pop.
Earl
Earl
Reed
Ferris.
Earl Reed.
Earl
Ferris.
Reed Ferris.
Earl Reed Ferris. Did he
Give
go
us-
by Earl or Reed?
Goes by Earl.
Okay. I like
It
that.
goes by Earl. I like how
Earl.
you said that.
You gotta say it slow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You said hold on.
No, you got it. No, this is a question that
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
I was just going to ask more about, give us a little bit more background on your family. Who's your
Yeah.
family?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I've got two super great parents. They currently live in Texas.
That's when you say hi, mom and dad. And look at
What's
the
up,
camera.
mom and dad?
Mhm.
They're super great. They live around Fort Worth, Texas.
Nice.
I have two older brothers who are both in Southern California, and then a younger sister who is also in Texas.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
So there's 4 kids.
Nice.
What are their names?
Clay and Leanne are my parents,
Okay.
Cool.
and then Caleb, Matthew, and Bethany are my
Bethany.
siblings.
Bethany's in Texas with your parents?
Yes. Well, she's
Okay.
she's going to Dallas Baptist University. right
Oh,
now.
nice.
But so she's
Is that where Dallas Willard taught? Or Dallas Theological Seminary? Is that different than Dallas
It's
Baptist?
different? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Okay.
Dallas
Cool.
taught at a place called Dallas?
Dallas
I think it's a
Willard,
requirement.
I think, didn't he? Wasn't he at Dallas
I
Theological
don't know where
Seminary?
he was. Yeah.
He tried to work at Southern. and they're
Maybe
like, "Dude,
maybe it
literally
actually
one of the
isn't in
name on it."
Dallas. Maybe it was just named after Dallas. I gotta look up.
Oh,
Look that
Yeah.
up.
It's like, no, it's not named
Well,
after the city. It's
Definitely
named
is in
after
Dallas, but it could be named after.
Tell us about your life, Jacob. Where
Yes.
where were you born?
I was born in North Carolina, actually.
What?
Born in Hickory, North Carolina.
Hickory, North Carolina.
Yeah. I lived there till I was about 1. And then I lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge. So are you an LSU fan?
I am an LSU fan, yeah.
So-
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know this.
I'll be honest, I don't, if we're not like 6 games into the season, if we're not doing any good, I don't pay attention.
Okay.
But
Basketball?
So are you a Joe Burrow fan
I like Joe Burrow.
and a Jaden McDaniels fan?
I don't.
He's the
See,
most
that's where-
recent.
Yeah, the
But they
Washington
weren't good, so
Commanders.
that's why you didn't watch
See,
them.
that's where, yeah, exactly.
He was
Washington
good, though.
Commanders starting
He was
quarterback.
good.
Joe Burrow's the man, dude, but your Bengals, Brent, keep letting me down. I want them to be good.
Yeah, we
Okay.
all do.
All right.
But,
We all do.
And then I moved to Portland when I was like 7, and I was there.
Tell us about moving to
college.
Portland. What was that
Yes.
like moving from Baton Rouge, Louisiana,
Yeah,
all the way to Portland?
You basically did the Oregon Trail.
I did
You
do the Oregon
did?
Trail. Nobody got dysentery either.
Wow, now that's a successful
it
move.
was
Hold
pretty
on.
sweet.
Have you played the game Oregon Trail?
I played the computer game.
Like
yeah.
the old school? Or is there like a new Oregon Trail game?
I think it was the old school one.
Because I went to elementary school and we had those old Mac
Mhm.
computer, like the originals, and you
Mhm.
would just kind of hit the buttons. You'd have to fight a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You, like,
That's the
just
game you played? Because
select
I'm
who's on your
41,
quest.
and if you played that same original game, I would be shocked.
As Jacob is explaining, I will look it up and come
Okay.
back.
Have you played Oregon Trail?
I haven't. Well,
Okay.
I lived it, so I feel like
Yeah.
I need to do it.
So, don't want to play this.
Yeah.
What was it culture shock for you as a 7-year-old moving from Baton Rouge to not to Louisiana, but to
Oregon.
Portland?
I didn't really think much of it. I remember my parents like told us we were moving,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Oh wow, like that's big."
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really think about it much. But the day that we moved, I don't like. I could be wrong. I could remember this wrong.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize we were moving.
Yeah.
Like I remember leaving church and having like this big send off for
Everybody's
us,
sad.
and then crying for like probably 20 minutes, and then we were on our way. And I didn't really, like I was young enough.
You're
Like I
in a
didn't
buggy
really.
with some horses in front.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Stop every once in a while to churn some butter.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I asked that question because my
Mhm.
daughter was 7
Oh, yeah.
when she moved across the country,
Mhm.
and I'm just curious what if you remember your mindset.
Yeah, no, and my family was pretty close, and I was
Yeah.
pretty close with my brothers growing up. So I didn't really think much of it. Like
Did you know why you were moving to Portland?
I knew why. Yeah.
Can we know that? Why?
Yeah. Well, it's top secret. It's government.
Sworn to
stuff.
secrecy at the age of
No.
7.
Yeah.
You
Sign,
must never tell.
sign an NDA and crayon. But no, I knew it was. I remember people would ask me, and I was yeah, my parents came up here to start a church because there's not a lot of churches in Portland.
Yeah.
That was my spiel
Yeah.
as a 7 and 8 year old.
You had
Yeah.
you had it dialed in.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
immediately ready to roll.
Can you tell me this? Okay, so you guys went to start a new church in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
So your dad was a pastor in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Was
so,
he? Well, yeah. Tell us about that.
So he was a youth pastor in Louisiana,
Okay.
and then on like east side of Baton Rouge,
Okay.
and then he ended up planting it. We ended up planting a church on like the west side of Baton Rouge, and then did that for a few years.
Yeah.
And then that was when made the move to Portland, and then planted in outside of Portland.
What part of Portland did you? I'm looking at Portland on a map right now.
uh,
Here's a map of Portland.
Clackamas.
Please put a map of Portland up here,
I'll
Yeah.
do it.
and then zoom into.
Clackamas,
Clackamas.
Happy Valley, Damascus area. It's kind of
Okay.
okay. The lines are very blurry. Of
Happy
like
Valley.
you could just Happy Valley would be good.
Happy Valley, Portland.
We met
there
at-
it is.
We met at Rock Creek Middle School,
Rock
which actually
Creek.
doesn't exist anymore. Don't type in Rock Creek Middle School. Type in Vern A. Duncan Elementary School.
Oh,
Oh,
my gosh!
just
So many-
rebrand?
Vern A. Duncan Elementary School. There it is.
Yep, that's where we met. For the,
Wow, I
when
could-
we
actually,
first started.
There's a Google picture of little Jacob running through the field.
Is it really?
Yeah,
No.
that'd be cool though.
Bummer.
Street view.
There's probably some somewhere. Street.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
That's where you guys met.
That's where we met.
That's
Yeah.
a cool looking
Wow.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you moved out. You guys planted. Your family
Mm-hmm.
basically planted a new church.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know anybody when you got to Portland?
No, I think. Well, my parents had connections to like the church
Network.
we were there
people?
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we came on, when we moved up there at first, my dad was like on staff at that church. I don't
Ah.
really know all the details of that, but
What?
so we
okay.
met those people. We knew those people,
Okay.
but
So and then what was like? Go ahead. I'm
No.
asking a lot of. What
No,
was
keep
church planning like from your perspective? as a 7-year-old that moved from the land of the gators,
Yeah.
the swamps of all the way up
the bayou,
to the put together intellectuals of Portland.
Yeah, like the intellectuals. Yeah.
That's the most cliche.
It
thing I
was.
could
Is it?
probably say.
It was. I was talking about this recently. I honestly didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
Like it was just life.
Yeah.
And my parents, I think, did a really good job of involving us in what was happening.
Mhm.
And I think we really felt like we were a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was cool. It was like, I don't know. I feel like I've talked with your kids even about this. Of like, I feel like a lot of pastors' kids are like either only watch VeggieTales or like are in jail. And it's like,
There's no in between.
And I didn't feel
There's
like
no middle
that.
ground.
And I didn't feel like that. Like I felt like, yeah, that's my dad's job. That's what he does. As I got older, it definitely was interesting. I think culturally, there was just a lot going on in Portland and a lot of things to learn about and face at a younger age than most kids would, just culturally and in life. And you just have to learn how to love Jesus and love people despite those things.
Yeah,
And
despite the differences in culture.
Yeah.
And value systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, value systems, culture.
Do you think Portland, West Coast in general is kind of leads American is upstream from American culture? Do you think like the things that you were facing, what year is this?
That was like probably 8th grade.
8th grade, which is like
really
a couple years ago, or
it was like 2 years ago. Yeah. No, I guess that was how long? That was like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Whoa.
So like 10 years ago, you were facing things in middle school, like around probably, I mean, the gender conversations were coming up and like those kind of things.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question there?
Well, because 10 years ago was about 20 years after the 1995 release of Oregon Trail 2, which is probably what I played.
Fair enough.
But also, I think the questions coming to my mind, I mean, you're talking about being a pastor's kid and church planning as a family. And a little bit about like the impact on your faith. But yeah, like I don't know, what was your interaction with faith like growing up in a church planning pastoral family? Because I think a lot of people, even without a pastor dad, have the story of like, oh, like I was around faith, but it didn't become my own until a certain point. Was that true of you? And if so, what did that look like?
I think that was true. Not because it wasn't anybody's fault, and it wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. Like my parents were so involved and so well known in a lot of different circles that I didn't really know how to not be a Holcomb. And even like going to school, like my brothers, like every teacher had my brothers before me. And they usually scared them, but so in faith it really impacted me. I think like I would say I had a genuine faith as a child and as a young teenager. But I think it wasn't until I went to work at a Bible camp called Shaw Creek Bible Camp in Corbett, Oregon. Shout out Shaw Creek.
Shaw Creek?
Trout Creek.
Trout Creek.
Trout
Creek.
Trout Creek, Oregon.
Trout Creek.
So it wasn't until I did that.
Looking it up.
That like my family had no connection there. My parents had no connection there. And it was the first time that I was like in a setting on my own. And specifically like a faith setting in my own. And so I kind of came to that realization of like, I've been set up so well with my parents and my dad's things, but I don't think I've really taken this seriously for myself yet. And I saw other people doing that, and I was like, I don't think I'm for real yet, and I want to be. So that was kind of the
when did
start.
you say that was?
That was after my freshman year of high school. So
okay,
Trout Creek Bible Camp. That's it.
Quaint looking.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it
facility.
there. Happiest place on earth.
Did you work there?
I did, yeah. I worked. So that's what I was. That was what I was talking about. Was working there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I worked there after my freshman year of high school. I was like 14.
That's really cool.
And then I worked there for 5 summers. Yeah.
Wow.
Every summer of high school, and then after my freshman year of college.
Really cool.
It was sweet.
Yeah. What was favorite part about it? Memorable moment.
I think I gotta say just the friendships I made.
Yeah.
I think like I just got so close to some guys. Like there's a group chat that I have that was from 7 years ago now. 2018 was that? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But we still talk every day. Like there's still like we're on a Marco Polo chat, and it's been running for over like 6 or 7 years now. And so I think it's really the relationships, but also just like I love just being in nature and in the outdoors, and
yeah.
I think it's just it just really shows you how how much more difficult it is to follow Jesus in like the digital age and surrounded by phones and things. Because when you get out in the woods, you're like, this is great. Like this is so much better without a phone. But yeah.
Can I go back to a comment that was made?
Absolutely.
You said having a pastor dad. I think we should get pastor dad t-shirts made.
Pastor dad. Pastor dad.
Yeah. That's great.
Worn by dads who are pastors?
Only dads
or
who are
dads
pastors.
of pastors.
So just you and
Dads. Ooh, both.
So my grandfather could wear one.
That's a big market we could sell to.
It is.
The podcast is usually a place where great ideas come to fruition, or come to die.
The pastor dad brand.
Come to die. Pastor dad.
Okay, so flash forward a little bit. I mean, we're kind of in this general time frame, but the decision to go to Cal Baptist, was that coincided with the decision or feeling a call towards ministry?
Kind of.
How did those two things come about?
Kind of. Both my brothers went to Cal Baptist, and I kind of always wanted to go there. Like I really didn't consider anything else.
Why did you want to go there?
It was cool. It just seemed cool. Like my brothers went there, and it seemed cool. And I didn't really like. Right. I was not an academic child at all.
You're a pretty smart guy though.
Yeah.
I think I'm smart, but like as
not
far as
academic,
grades go, academic not at
different.
all. Not at all. Knocked over my water bottle. We can cut that out, right?
Yeah, we can cut that.
Sweet. We'll get it in post. Yeah, I already wanted to go there, and then the call for ministry, I think, really happened my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just molded together perfectly because I went down to CBU.
It's a pretty beautiful campus.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's a great spot. Are you Googling it right now?
Yeah, this is what I do during the podcast.
I like it.
Browse the internet.
No, I like it.
Do some online shopping.
Yeah, I went down there.
Bought some new socks.
And then I found out that
some pastor dad tees.
I'm pastor dad. Go ahead. You're good. I found out that the theology program was really good.
Yeah.
And it had a really good scholarship.
Uh-huh.
And things just worked out perfectly. Like I remember thinking to myself, like, it doesn't make sense for me to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like this is just lined up so well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so that was part of how that happened.
What was your favorite class at Cal Baptist U? Cal Bab U?
Oh my goodness. Favorite class at Cal Baptist.
Is there like a short way to say Cal Baptist?
People say CBU.
CBU.
Or Cal Baptist. I usually say CBU.
Cal Bap Uni.
Cal Bap Uni. Cali Bap. My favorite class, dude. I was so bad at school. I think I was the worst student.
I don't know why that got me so good. Sorry, keep on the train of thought. Sorry, we're just gonna have a moment.
Yeah, we're good. Just gonna giggle in the background.
I like these interviews because we're interviewing, new staff member and different. But it's like we can just kind of be aloof. And we can just ask you. Yeah. We can be actively listening, but also actively daydreaming.
No, I love it.
And actively.
That's how I think. That's how I work.
Okay, go ahead. Favorite class?
I'd say content-wise, my pastoral leadership class.
Oh.
So two of the professors in our program had just like this list of just like pastoral wisdom. And the whole class was just them going through it and talking through it. And it was really cool.
What was one bit of pastoral wisdom that you've already discovered to be true in your year? How long have you been in pastoral ministry full-time? Year and a half?
Year and a few months.
Year and a few months.
Cool. Oh my goodness. There's let me think. Discern, which I should say.
Let me discern. That sounds like you needed a Holy Spirit filter.
Yeah. No, just I think one that this one's kind of general, but it's all about like everything you do is going to come from your connection to the Lord and your own abiding, and you can be the most dynamic speaker and the most gifted leader and creative and all these things. Like I am. Just kidding. But like it doesn't matter if you're not connected to Jesus, and the real fruit is not going to come from any of that. It's going to come from your devotion to the Lord and reliance on Him. That's a big one that was kind of talked about a good bit, and I've tried to keep in mind a lot.
Yeah, it's really good, man. I think that's super important. I think. Did you ever watch like the Hillsong United documentary or any of that stuff?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. I think like that we're in a generation right now that sounds simple, but like it's so needed. I think so many young, talented, skilled leaders, people in ministry, speakers, communicators, like that's such a value. Like the stage is such a value that sometimes you can get rushed to platform.
Yeah.
And, it's like Paul lived in obscurity for 3+ years even though he was so well known, older,
Yeah.
and like didn't even start really preaching and sharing the gospel. And it's like, and yet we're rushing past the abide. He had to learn to abide in Jesus. We're rushing past that sometimes in the American church, just to be like, he's got a gift or she's got a gift, and so let's just and that burns out. It just really does. It burns out and it flames out, or it acts out, and there's some big fallout. How many more outs could I say? But I do think like that's huge, and ministry's hard. And so if you're not pulling from a deep well or a deep source of knowing Jesus and walking with Jesus, like it'll find you out one way or the other. So good advice from that teacher, professor.
Yeah.
I don't remember who said it, but there's one quote that's, don't let your character take you somewhere that don't let your talent take you somewhere that your character can't
sustain you. Yeah.
Which
I like that.
we talked about with our leaders even we had like a leader meeting last night.
Oh yeah. How was that?
It was great. It was super great. I loved it. I love our group.
Did you say, hey, nice to meet you all?
Yeah, no, I did meet everybody, but
Cool.
something that I was kind of just emphasizing was like,
I
would, if it's a busy season and you're struggling, like I would keep the bare minimum should be abiding in Jesus. The bare minimum shouldn't be getting your tasks done.
Yeah.
Because I think, it's just a backwards way. In our culture, it's easy to mess that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like, this is an interview question, but what do you feel like your greatest strengths are as a leader, pastor, youth pastor, college age minister, podcast associate?
Podcast associate. Is this?
It's not added to your job description.
No,
Not yet. This is part of the interview.
I think. I mean, I've always felt like I can get along with anybody.
Yeah.
And I think like, I remember at camp, there was always like when they would make the cabins.
Trout
Creek.
When
They make the cabins,
Trout
they were
Bab.
like certain counselors would always get put with the sporty kids, and then certain counselors would always get put with the kids that like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And it was like, I won't say nerdy kids. I guess I just did. Nerd is a good term.
It is a good term.
But I think,
right, Luke?
I don't know. I just noticed.
Fine with me.
I just noticed like I always had both, and I felt like I could always do both, and I felt like any kid that I met, I could relate with. I could figure out something to talk about. So I feel like that's been a really helpful thing. Just kind of the ability to talk to people.
Yeah.
To skill.
Yeah.
The ability to talk to anybody will get you far.
Yeah.
And not just talk to anybody. Yeah, just like social skills, and especially in a very digital age.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good strength.
Nice.
I get that about you.
Yeah. How would you explain our spats then, if you're so good at getting along with everyone?
Spats.
I'm just kidding.
I'd say it's mostly you.
Yeah.
Spats.
I had
to use context
disagreements,
clues.
Who disagrees in this room?
It was a joke.
Me and
I was saying like, how
me
do you
and
then
Luke
explain how
Probably,
how
it's
we
probably
don't
your
get
You know what I
shortcomings.
thought you were saying? I thought you were saying like, I thought it was like a abbreviation of something. I was like, what does SPAT stand for?
because of Cal Bat Beauty? Now you're just
Super
working through that lens.
super
I get
petty
it.
argument time,
Yep, that is what spat means.
which is what me and
Super
Luke
petty
have
argument time.
every day.
That's so good.
It's not true.
friends.
What I like to ask this question with everyone's on who's on here.
When I ask questions,
Yeah.
the question I like to ask is,
This is like a Pert Hapley moment. So, talking about your upbringing and your growth in faith in Jesus, but as a 23-year-old next-gen pastor in San Luis Obispo, California,
What I am.
this is getting deep.
what keeps bringing you back to Jesus?
That's good.
Like, why have you stuck with him?
It's a really great question.
Thank you.
I read the book of John a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I think at the end of John, he writes, "The reason I'm writing this is so that you will know that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that you may have life in his name." And I think I kind of just, those two things is what keeps me going, I think. That I think of Jesus is the Christ. He is the Son of God. He is everything. He deserves my authority. Or not my authority. He deserves my attention and my admiration.
Yeah.
But he also is my savior and my friend. And so I don't know. I don't know anyone who deserves more of my respect, and I don't know anybody who has loved me more than he has. And so I think just that combination of those things, it's just like, what else? I mean, it's like, is it Peter that said, like, Lord, where else? Like, you alone have the words of eternal life. Where else could we go?
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I know the truth. And so it's like, why? There's no reason. There's nothing that could be better.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I've tried.
That's great.
In my younger years, don't worry.
Yeah, it's good. So you're 23. You're a next gen pastor at SLO City Church.
Mm-hmm.
You love Jesus.
Yes.
You clearly love the Word.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Cal Bab Uni and Trout Fisherman Camp. And
Best pro camp.
And so you're over middle school, high school, and college age ministry. You love to teach and preach.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
You invest in people. You can talk to anybody. So here's what I think my boys would be interested in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we each shared, they listen to a podcast called like Youth Ministry Chronicles, or do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
They listen to this podcast. I can't really handle it because I feel like, I don't know, it's just three guys talking about crazy youth ministry stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much time we have left, Luke.
No, go for it.
Do we have any favorite youth ministry stories, either from our time in youth ministry as a student or on the other side? Do you have a favorite brief story that you could package that we could literally compete with Youth Ministry Chronicles podcast? We're going to tag them on this. How do we do that?
I think I can Instagram. That's how we'll do it.
Oh my goodness.
Just
I'm
send it
trying
to
to
'em.
think. Oh, we definitely have some.
Yeah.
Well,
silence is great for a podcast. Just a quick note.
yeah, let's just sit in
So,
silence. Let's all get on our phones.
I'm so sorry.
Is this for anyone?
This is for
Can
anyone.
I answer while he's thinking?
Yeah,
Okay.
you answer
I
while I
want
think.
three quick
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
Can I give two that are both quick?
Well, they got if you can
whatever,
package two into one.
One time I met this kid and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He's a little bit quiet and shy. I was like, "What's your name?" He said, "Connor." I was like, "Awesome, great to meet you, Connor." And about 5 years later, I found out his name's Alejandro. Called him Connor for 5 years. Story number two:
That's
we
on
took
you.
a mission trip to Philadelphia.
5 years.
Yeah, seriously, it was a long time.
Mhm.
We took a mission trip to Philadelphia, the fifth largest city in the United States of America, and I left a kid downtown on accident. One of our high school students.
That reminds me of another story.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're
That's
thinking.
really
of.
good.
So those are my two as youth leaders. I can't think of any as a student. but
Okay, I've got two.
go for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
We went to when I was a student worship pastor, led worship at a camp in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. We had parents pack in desserts for we did like worship and then we watched Napoleon Dynamite.
Nice.
Still happening. And so afterwards there were like desserts and snacks and popcorn and brownies and all these things that parents shipped in with us. One kid came up to me and he said, "Hey, do you know if those cookies had peanuts in it?" And I said, "I have no idea. Let's go look." And right in front of the stack of cookies, it was a sign that said, "Contains peanuts."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I'm deathly allergic to peanuts, and I just ate a cookie." And I'm like, "We're in the middle of nowhere, Ohio." So I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Well, my throat is closing." And I tried to find the staff at the camp. Nowhere to be found.
What?
Nowhere to be found. So I find a phone. I was at a cell phone service, so I call 911. And he's sitting there and he's like, and I'm like, this kid's going to die in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. So basically, this is getting too long.
That's a terrible place to die.
We wait. It becomes clear that as we're waiting for the ambulance, he's not going to die. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
But they get there. It's the oldest ambulance EMS crew I've ever seen in my entire life. Everyone is at least 70.
They're going to die.
They are moving very slowly. We get this kid in the back. I'm in the back with him. They put oxygen on him and all this stuff. And they drive chaotically out of this place. I mean, so fast. So it's these windy roads. I start getting car sick in the back. I'm like, "Can I move to the front of the ambulance?"
Yeah.
I move to the front of the ambulance, sit in the passenger seat just as we hit a clear breakaway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we come out of the woods, out of this gully,
Yeah.
and there's like, you've been to these places. There's like cornfields.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are flying. I look up in about, I don't know, half mile up, and I see a pack of deer.
Oh no.
And I'm thinking, this is going to be incredible. The guy turns on the siren. The siren wasn't on, but he sees the deer and turns on the siren, which only causes the deer to run across the road.
Oh yeah.
And we hit a deer in this ambulance. And the deer flies, and I feel like I'm making eye contact with it as it's coming by the passenger. Ah! My buddy's driving behind me, Travis Whalen, and he says the deer lands in front of his car, and it's like... The story goes on, but that was
Oh,
that's one of my favorite. Then we get to this rinky-dink hospital, and there's a lot happening in the hospital, and I'm like, dear Lord, why have you called me to this?
Dear Lord.
Dear Lord. He was praying, dear Lord, why did I just get hit by a car?
We should have put a warning on the front of that story
Trigger warning.
for people who like deer.
Go ahead, Jacob.
The one I thought of was the last church I was at, the first service I ever went to as an intern. Literally the first kid I talked to. I go, hey man, like what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up? He goes, do you like Fortnite? And I was like, sure, yeah, I like Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And then he punches me in the stomach. And he goes, Fortnite sucks. And I was like, okay.
How hard did he punch you?
Not very hard.
Yeah.
He was like 10.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's Fortnite
like,
sucks.
did he look like he was like forceful with it, or was it just kind of like a playful?
That's
jab?
amazing.
It's somewhere in between. It's hard to
Okay,
tell.
all right,
That's amazing. That's pretty
I
good.
don't think I saw that kid again though.
That's amazing.
What was your reaction?
I was just like, what?
He just ran away.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Wow.
We should do we should do one podcast of just youth ministry
would
stories
be
because
good.
I feel like they're
You should've
open. My mind is opening
yeah.
up.
for sure.
I can think of
Let's
some
do it.
longer stories.
Okay, you got
Yeah.
another. You got another quick one.
We there's a lot. We found there was a kid who left his bag. I had to leave camp early, and so we were getting his stuff together, and then we pick up his backpack to go like get his things together, bring it up top, and we're like, why is this backpack dripping? Why is it wet? And we're like, did it like get in water or something? And then we open it up, and this kid had multiple cartons of milk in his backpack and packets of cereal. So he was stealing cereal and milk from the breakfast cafeteria, whatever.
Yeah.
And he had milk
And at least-
spilled in his bag.
That's
I'm sorry.
Really
I was
great
laughing at your story and also a text that we received from Jordan
Uh-oh.
at the same time. I'm really
kid.
sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. It made me feel like my story was extra funny.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
It is
I wish
very
you didn't
funny.
say that.
It is
Now-
very. No, it is
Now I
very
think my story
funny.
was terrible.
No, it's not.
That's one of the funniest things to me. Milk and
I
backpacks.
hope you find milk in your bag.
All right, we're wrapping up.
We are.
We
Jacob, this went too fast.
It did.
Yeah.
We'll have you on again.
Have me back on, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely before
Youth
Tatum.
Ministry Chronicles of SLO City Church and beyond.
As we're closing, College Age kicks off tomorrow. If you're listening
Yes.
to this on
You
Wednesday,
hyped?
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
hyped?
Dude, I'm
Yes.
so hyped.
You know your Instagram game is really good.
It
You think
is.
so?
It's
I
really
think
Thank
it's
you.
really good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Give us like what? Yeah, a little preview into what college age. If there's college students such as Ethan Dixon listening to
What's
this
up,
right
Ethan
now,
Dixon?
give us a little preview into why someone should come to college age ministry on Thursday night.
2 words, Luke Lions.
Oh.
That's the only reason you just
Are you going to be there, Luke?
That's a bad. I will be there, but
Oh.
I don't want that to be the promotion.
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
College ministry. It's gonna be a great time.
Mm.
College is a time where you're involved in a lot of things, and you're in a lot of
Yeah.
groups and a lot
Mhm.
of clubs and a lot of things, but I think there's a lot of value in committing to something, even if you're
Yeah.
not only going to be there for 4 or less years. A lot of value in committing to
And
something,
being, and being.
and
Yeah.
being there, and
Just being.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's
Not doing. Just being.
just being.
Yeah,
You just have to be. You don't have to do.
we're human beings.
And yeah, there's a community here that is fun and
Yeah.
inviting and loving, and I'll buy you breakfast.
I hope you
What?
create an Instagram reel for Cam off of what you just said.
Maybe I will.
That'll get him there
and this week's extra special to launch because
We got the bonfire.
yeah,
Bonfire at
Where?
Grover Beach at
Meet-
7
meet
p.m.
at Finn's.
Oh
Look
my
for the flag.
goodness.
tomorrow.
That
Flag.
sounds so
See-
fun.
Yes. No, tent.
Thursday
Look
night
for the tent
You're gonna have a tent at Finn's.
at the
At the
on the
beach.
beach.
On the
Who's gonna
beach.
be at Finn's though? If you're meeting
didn't-
at
Usually
Finn's.
there's like an older gentleman playing
New
covers
here. I didn't know there was supposed to be somebody up there.
Travis Tritt and
Okay.
the like.
and then a
so-
house worship night.
And then a worship night on Saturday night. Gonna be sweet. I'm
Okay.
really really excited for that.
Okay.
You guys are invited.
I won't be there.
I didn't get an invite.
Yeah,
Well, you just did.
Oh, I
invited
might
you.
be there.
too late.
Okay,
I
cool.
won't be there.
That'd be sweet.
Well,
Pro-
that's awesome. What was that?
Proud of you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Guys.
I appreciate Jacob because he's got a witty sense of humor,
Mm-hmm.
a little sarcastic sense of humor.
Yeah.
yeah.
He can take it and give it, dish it out.
Mm.
He did tell his parents that I take out my quote unquote anger on him, which I'm like, I've never once been angry.
We're at when we're at your house. Sorry if this is going long. When we're at your house,
All right.
you're like, "What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up?" You get to me. What are you cold? Because I had a jacket on. I was like, hey, Brent.
Oh no.
No, but that's okay.
It's only because I love you.
You have to be
Luke can
love
attest. Luke can attest.
No, I get it. You have to be professional and pastoral.
Yeah.
You need somewhere
So
to put all that anger. And I can be that.
You gotta let down every now and then.
Whatever.
You know? Find your
Whatever.
spots. Jacob, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been fun getting to chat with you. Thank you for listening.
Let's all look at the camera now.
Thanks, Ethan, for listening.
Yes, thank you, Ethan.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week with I don't know who, but
Not
with
me.
someone. Some of us will be here.
Some of us will be here.
We will talk with you soon.
Peace.
See ya.
Peace, peace, peace.